Hey, what's going on, people? I hope you guys are doing good. Today, we're talking about the Galaxy S22 Ultra once again. We're going to be going over several tips and tricks to help you get the most out of the latest update. I'm talking One UI 5 and Android 13. If you haven't received the update, hopefully it will be coming to you soon. I know there was a huge push here in the US, so most of my viewers here located in the States should have already received the update. If you're outside of the States, like I said, hopefully you'll get it soon. If not, I'll drop a link down in the description to the unlock model and that update, so maybe you can flash it on your device. So let's go ahead and kick this off with number one, which is a new visual design. One UI 5 and Android 13 come with a new visual design, and this includes larger icon symbols, subtle background gradients, and improved contrast, smoother animations, which ultimately make the phone feel snappier, and improved blur effects with brighter colors. I really like the aesthetics and the overall smoothness of One UI 5 and Android 13, but ultimately it's not a huge difference from One UI 4. However, the little subtle notes here and there are noticeable, and I really do think it adds to the experience. Number two is the fact that you can easily customize your lock screen, well, from your lock screen, so you no longer have to go into the settings. Let me show you what I mean. So if you want to adjust your lock screen and customize it, all you have to do is be on your lock screen, just touch and hold, enter your PIN or scan your fingerprints, and then boom. From here, you can adjust the clock, so you can change the font or the layout. You can also adjust the color. You can adjust your notifications down here on the bottom, so you can have icon or details, adjust the transparency, and also auto reverse the text color. You can swap out the icons down here, so if you want your dialer, or if you want to switch that to flashlight, same thing with the camera. And then if you tap on wallpapers up here in the top left, you can see the layout is much different. It's a little bit more simplified, and it gives you an easier way to find wallpapers. And then down here on the bottom, we have our wallpaper services. So we have a lot more options and just an easier way to customize the lock screen. So staying on the topic of visual design and customization, we now have a few more palette options in order to match the phone experience to your wallpaper. Let me show you what I mean. So adjusting your color palette isn't anything new, but they've added new options. So if I touch and hold and then go under wallpaper and style, you can see we have color palette. Just tap on that, turn on color palette, and now we have two sets of palettes. Typically we would only have one, but now we have two, and this is going to add like a unique look across the board on my phone to match my wallpaper. So these right here are going to be my wallpaper colors, and then if I go under basic colors, I can add one of those. I also have different color variations, so we have different shades of green, like a blue and a purple, so I can select from basic colors. If I go back to wallpaper colors and swipe over, I have different options here. So we'll go ahead and swipe back, and I'll select this one, and you can see the text has changed on my screen. And then I can toggle on apply palette to icons. And then if I tap apply and then go back to my home screen, you'll see the icons have adjusted to match the color palette. Another really cool customization feature inside of One UI 5 is the ability to stack widgets. So now you can stack widgets of the same size on top of each other. That way you can access them on the fly without having to take up your entire screen, so you can still make out your wallpaper. Let me show you how to do it. So if I want to add a stacked widget to the at a glance widget up here, I can just touch and hold on it and then tap on create stack. And you can see I have a ton of options here. So we'll go ahead and add the month widget. Go ahead and tap add. And you can see all I have to do is swipe, and it's giving me both of my widgets. If you want to create one from scratch, you can just touch and hold, go to widgets. We'll add the bookmarks widget. Go ahead and add that, and then just touch and hold, create stack, and it will give you some options to choose from. So again, we'll pick the Google widget. We'll do at a glance. Go ahead and add that. And now if I swipe, you can see I have a stack. And you could do this with numerous widgets. So if I touch and hold, go to edit stack, I can auto rotate widgets. I can add a new one. So I can add the regular calendar here. Let's tap add, and we'll back out. Now if I swipe, I have the calendar, I have the bookmarks, and I have at a glance. Speaking of widgets, we have a brand new widget on Samsung phones with One UI 5 called Smart Suggestions. And what it does is it will give you suggestions based on how you use your phone. Now these suggestions could be in the form of apps, contacts, and things like that. It's gonna get smarter as you use your phone and of course as each update gets pushed to the phone. It's almost like At a Glance, but more optimized for Samsung devices. Let me show you how to access it. If you want to take advantage of Samsung's new Smart Suggestions widget, all you have to do is go into your widgets by touching and holding, go under Widgets, tap on Smart Suggestions, tap on the widget, and then tap Add. And that's it. You can resize it to whatever size you want, so you can make it bigger, or you can make it a little smaller. And it's gonna give you recommendations based on how you use your phone. And like I said, this includes apps, it includes contacts and things like that. And it's gonna get smarter as you use your phone and of course, as it gets updated. Staying on the topic of customization, we now have the ability to assign different call backgrounds per contact. Now, we've always been able to assign contact photos, but with this new update and this new feature, it's going to make identifying who's calling you much easier. Let me show you how to do it. If you want to assign a call background to a specific contact, that way it's easier to see who's calling you. What you're gonna do is go into your contacts, and then you're going to select the contact that you want to add a background to. In this case, I'm just gonna create one from scratch. You're gonna go under View More, scroll all the way down until you see Call Background, tap on that, tap on Background, and from here you can adjust the background. So to give you an example, I'm gonna go ahead and change the background to my own contact and then call myself. If you want to edit an existing contact and change the call background, you're gonna go under your contact, tap on Edit, then scroll all the way down until you see View More, tap on View More, keep scrolling until you see Call Background with Sound or Call Background Sound. Just tap on Call Background with Sound, tap on Background, and then select the background that you want. In this case, I'm going to select that one, and then tap Set as Call Background, tap on Save. Now I'm gonna call myself, and you should see my call background pop up over here. Number 7 are modes, and I'm really excited that we have these on Samsung devices. It makes setting up things for different activities super easy. In the past, all we had was routines, and while those are great and very detailed, this is much easier. They're very similar to focus modes found on Apple devices, but Samsung does add their own unique twist. Let me show you how to access them and what you can do. If you want to set up modes, there's a couple different ways to do it. You can go into your main settings and then tap on the search symbol in the top right, and then just do a search for modes, and then tap on modes and routines, and you can go about doing it that way. A faster option is to pull down, then pull down your quick toggles, swipe over until you see the modes quick toggle, tap on modes, tap on details, and then boom. You can see you have your presets for sleep, driving, exercise, relax, work, and then in add mode. If you tap on add mode, tap on custom, you can create your own mode for whatever activity or routine that you're going for, and then you can assign a symbol to symbolize that mode. Now, if you want to customize one of the presets, you just tap on it, tap on start, and then from here you can assign a specific time where that mode will automatically turn on. You can select the days of the week that you want the mode to turn on. You can assign a wake up alarm since this is for sleep. You have an alarm sound, vibration, snooze. Once all that's done, tap next. And then from here, you can toggle on and off do not disturb. So whether or not you want to automatically turn it on. You have calls and messages. So you can have repeat callers automatically bypass the mode or the do not disturb setting. Messages, calls, and you can assign specific contacts that you want to bypass do not disturb, which we'll cover here in a minute. Once all that's done, you can just tap next, and then you have a few more options here. Tap done, and then that will automatically save to that preset or custom mode. We'll go ahead and go back, and then go under a different preset, such as exercise, tap on start. So from here, you have the question, when do you want to turn on exercise mode? You have the choice of during exercise or when app is open. We'll select when app is open. And you can see it gives you a choice of a specific app that as soon as it's open, exercise mode will automatically turn on. So this is great if you're using fitness apps. Go ahead and back up. And then during exercise, we'll utilize Samsung Health in order to detect that you're exercising. Once all that's set up, you just tap next, go through the next set of questions, and then customize that mode. So you have a lot of choices here, and definitely awesome to see that they brought this over because modes are incredibly useful. I do have a couple things that I want to add. First and foremost, there's no more bedtime mode. Instead, that is sleep mode. So if you're looking for bedtime mode, stop looking, it's now referred to as sleep mode. So they're trying to simplify things a little bit. Plus, I think sleep mode's a little bit more appropriate than bedtime mode, especially for adults. The other thing I want to talk about are routines. Now, Bixby routines are nothing new, but I love how they integrate very well with modes. So if we tap on routines, you can see you have your custom routines, or the ones that you have set up, automatically displayed. If you want to browse preset routines, they have a plethora to choose from now. So in the top right corner, you have like a little circle with like a navigation symbol. Just tap on that, and that's going to give you a breakdown of all the presets that you can choose from. You have categories here. So if I tap on battery, you can see these are the presets that I can choose from. If I back up, I can tap on all routines, and this gives me all of the ones that I can choose from. So it's really cool to see all of the presets already there for you. So that way, if you're not familiar with Bixby routines, you can get familiar by using one of the presets. Then you could just tap on one of these and then integrate that into one of the modes. And now you have a fully automated experience using your Galaxy S22 Ultra. Now, if I were to turn on, say, this mode right here, or this routine, and back up, you can see it shows me the routines that are currently active. So you can see running, and then work life is toggled on at the top. So that means that routine is running. So this is a great way to determine what's turned on, what's turned off, what's running in the background, and things like that. So I love the integration here between modes and routines. So definitely dive in and check that out. And let me know in the comment section, is this helpful to you? There's one more thing I want to talk about inside of routines. So if I tap on the plus symbol to create a custom Bixby routine, go under if, we'll just tap on start manually to keep it simple. And then go under then. If I go under apps, we now have the ability to open an app pair. There's also the ability to control the sound between the left and right speakers, so that way you can control the balance there. And there's a few more options inside of the then section for Bixby routines. So we have a few more options in order to give you complete customization over your routines, and I'm definitely liking that. Like I said, I always say this in my videos whenever I mention a Bixby routine. If you want to see a dedicated video on Bixby routines, I did one a long time ago. I'll put it in the card up top. But if you want to see an updated video, let me know in the comment section. Next up, we have a few multitasking gestures added to the Galaxy S22 Ultra. This will allow you to quickly put an app into split screen or split view on the fly. Let me show you how to set it up and how to go about doing it. So if you want to take advantage of the new multitasking gestures, what you're going to do is go under your settings, your main settings, scroll down until you get to advanced features, tap on that, then go under labs and make sure swipe for pop-up view and swipe for split screen is turned on. Now, if I go inside of an app such as Chrome here, take two fingers and swipe up, you can see it immediately puts me into split screen. From here, I can select another app. So we'll say B&H, and then boom, I'm in split screen. And of course you can adjust it just like you can with the typical split screen. And then another thing is if I go back into the Chrome app here and then just take my finger from the top corner and swipe diagonally, you can see I'm now in pop-up view. So from here, I can move the window around. I can expand it and go to full screen again. I can also do it from this corner. So it's just a quick way to get into the multi-window or multitasking capabilities of the phone without having to, tap and do a bunch of other stuff. It's just gesture-based, and I find it to be pretty useful. The Samsung keyboard has really grown on me over the years, and now I find myself using it over Gboard almost every single time I get a new Samsung phone. And with the One UI 5 and Android 13 update, we now have a few customization features for the keyboard, including the ability to customize the toolbar. Let me show you. A new feature with the Samsung keyboard is the ability to customize the toolbar. So up top, I have my icons. If I just touch and hold, I can drag them around and place them wherever I want, giving me the ones that I use most frequently to the front and the ones that I use the least towards the back. I can also go into the keyboard settings here. So if I tap on the little keyboard symbol here, tap on the cogwheel, I can go down until I see layout, and then go to the bottom. I can now customize the spacebar row. So these characters down here, so I can swap out the comma, for instance. I can toggle it off. I can toggle it on. I can toggle off and on the period. I can also toggle off and on the www dot and the .com, as well as the period whenever inputting an email or web address. Next up is the ability to assign a language per app. So if you're someone that has loved ones or friends in another country and you communicate with those people in a different language, you can technically use a messaging app and then assign that language per that messaging app so you no longer have to go in and switch it up. It's really useful. It does have some limitations, so let's go over that now. If you want to customize the language per app, you're gonna go into your main settings, tap on the search symbol in the top right, do a search for language, then tap on app languages. Tap on app languages at the top, and then these are all the apps that are currently supported on my phone. Of course, it's gonna come down to whether or not the app supports language selection. If it does support it, then you'll be able to adjust it right here in the main settings. So for instance, let's say I wanted to change Chrome to a different language. All I have to do is just tap on that app and then select the language that I want to change it to. Now every single time I launch Chrome, it'll be in that language. I'm a big fan of Do Not Disturb. I know it sounds silly, but I use it all the time, especially right before I go to bed, when I'm in a meeting, or if I'm editing or shooting, video like this. And now we can add exceptions to Do Not Disturb. That way, if I am sleeping and say my wife is out of town, staying with her parents or visiting somebody, and she needs to get a hold of me, she could bypass Do Not Disturb. Let me show you how to set up exceptions because I find that to be really important. Adding an exception to Do Not Disturb is incredibly easy. There's a couple ways to go about doing it, but the easiest is to go into your quick toggles, locate Do Not Disturb, tap on Do Not Disturb, tap on Details, and then scroll down. And you can see Allowed during Do Not Disturb. You can select calls and messages, which is going to be based on all of them, repeat callers, or you can assign specific contacts that will bypass Do Not Disturb. So for instance, I would automatically put my wife, my brother, any immediate family, and a couple close friends. So if I back up, I can also do alarms and sounds, app notifications, or I can choose to hide notifications. So a couple options down here for allowing specific things to take place even if Do Not Disturb is turned on, and that's how you can customize that. Device care is something that I go over all the time in every one of my tips and tricks, and I'm happy to say that with One UI 5 and Android 13, we have a few changes. Let's go over those changes now. So let's go ahead and go under Device Care by going under our main settings, scrolling down until we see Battery and Device Care. Tap on that. So we now have the option to completely turn off RAM+, which wasn't an option before. So if I go under my memory and then go under RAM+, you can see I have 2, 4, 6, and 8, but I also have a toggle up top, so I can completely turn it off if I want to save a little bit of internal storage and just not take advantage of it. Another new option we have inside of Device Care is on the main page here. If I scroll down, we have Auto Optimization. So if I tap on that and toggle it on, it will automatically optimize my phone by closing background apps, cleaning memory. It's gonna use AI as well as system tools to determine what needs to be done in order to keep my phone running as smooth as possible. You will need to restart your phone as soon as you turn it on, and then it's gonna learn your habits and things like that. So it uses the AI in that aspect, and then it uses the system tools in conjunction to make sure it's running as smooth as possible. So if you want your phone to run in tip-top shape, I suggest going ahead and toggling that on and see if it makes a difference. This next feature may sound a bit silly and it may not be important to you, but if you're someone that works in the medical field or someone that does a lot of exercising or cooking and you rely on multiple timers, with One UI 5 and Android 13, you can now set up multiple timers at once and you're not limited to just one. I find it to be incredibly useful, so let me show you how to do it. So I'm inside of the clock app. To access the timer, it's on the bottom all the way over on the right. Just tap on timer. So from here, I can start a timer for 58 minutes. Then I can go to the top right, tap on the plus symbol, and then start another timer for 1 hour, or 1 hour and 58 minutes. Then tap on the plus symbol again, and then I can do another timer for 2 hours. And as I swipe, you can see I have 3 timers going at once. I find this to be very useful for people cooking. Say you're cooking a bunch of stuff at once for Thanksgiving and you have multiple timers for different recipes, you could do that. If you work in the medical field and you're an occupational therapist or a physical therapist and you're treating patients concurrently, so you have different patients for different times, you could do that. If you're a nurse and you're relying on timers for medications for various patients, you could use it for that. Just a lot of use cases for assigning multiple timers, and I'm glad that it's there. Last but not least, we have a few updates to the emergency side of things, including the ability to contact emergency services and to create emergency contacts. Let me show you how to go about doing all of that, because if you live in an area where it's a little rough, or maybe you go to visit areas, this last feature, the last set of features involve the emergency side of things on your phone. So this includes things like the next feature, the last thing I want to go over, the last thing I want to go over are the emergency features on the Galaxy S22 Ultra, because with One UI 5 and Android 13, we have some updates, and you can now trigger emergency services using the side button, as well as create your own emergency contacts. Let me show you exactly what I mean and how to go about doing all that. If you want to take advantage of the new emergency settings, what you're going to do is go into the main settings, scroll down until you see safety and emergency, tap on that, then tap on emergency contacts, tap on the plus symbol and build out your emergency contact list. From there, you can toggle on Show on Lock Screen, which will show your emergency contact list on your lock screen. If I back up, then go under Emergency SOS by tapping on the words, not the toggle, it lets me know what's going to happen. So if I press the side key 5 times, it's going to put it in SOS mode. From there, it's going to alert emergency services. By default, it's call 911, but if I tap on that, you can see it gives me a list of other numbers, or I can add a custom number such as one of my emergency contacts, or if I'm visiting an area where 911 isn't the default, I can add that number. If I back up, at the bottom there's share info with emergency contacts, which basically means if I put it in SOS mode, it's automatically going to send my location to my emergency contact list. I don't know. I really feel safer knowing that this is on my phone. I'm definitely going to set it up, and I highly suggest that you do the same, because you never know when you might need this. All right, so there you go. That was several new tips and tricks for the Galaxy S22 Ultra running One UI 5 and Android 13. I have a second video about to drop that's gonna cover all the camera side of things, because believe it or not, we got several new camera features, settings, and modes that came with One UI 5 and Android 13 that I think you guys are going to absolutely love. So make sure to subscribe, click the bell icon to be alerted when that video drops, and don't forget, give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. I really appreciate you guys watching. Go ahead and comment down below if you have any questions. And other than that, I'll see you beautiful people in the next video.